love to work
To
with
your
you.
central question,
Yes.
can we work with you?
Can we prevent more dumping?
Yes. And if there's some way that you can assist us, or anyone can, with working as those residents move to
The animals.
adopt a cat,
Well, the animals is what I'm more concerned with, because they're gonna cost the city more money.
yes.
In the long
If
term.
you would get with Al Trainer or Jerry Landers at the end, we will be more than happy to try to work with you to adopt dogs and cats and
Prevent.
whatever else.
Okay, great. I will be glad to get with you guys afterwards.
Okay.
Thank you.
Dale?
If for whatever reason this is the last time that you get to do this, Bob, I want to thank you. Harry Zimmer and I are fortunate to live in a big community near Harwood and Floor-wise, thank you. Thanks to the great work of Mike Collins, we're seeing a sleepy part of the U.S. just explode, and that's the Riverwalk, community Riverwalk, that area. My question is probably more directed to Al is, as that area expands, as density grows, should we expect some traffic lights? Should we expect, I know you guys plan for that road. One of the areas I'd like to address maybe is the eastern extension of Harwood. That's still on the plan. That would be wonderful if that happened. And also maybe the Midtown Express, how that might impact that new area of Hewlett that's just exploding. We want to maintain our mobility that we have in that area. So, good job. You made all this.
Well, other than Dale talking about how nice I am, and I appreciate it, his real question when it gets right down to it is there's new development, and Mike, did you do all your development updates you want to do a while ago, or we can talk a little bit about that maybe, but how that impacts traffic as well as Midtown Expressway, and
Yeah,
I think
we've got a
deal with that.
graphic on the residential development. Before we get to that, just a quick note on the Harwood Road extension into DFW Airport that will connect into International Parkway. Be on the lookout, perhaps in late February, early March. TxDOT will begin to have, DFW Airport will be hosting a public meeting to discuss the extension of Harwood Road into the airport. Again, that will be in March, and in all likelihood, that public meeting will be held at the community room within the library. So notice of that will be provided in late February or early October. Mr. Barker, do you have that graphic map? March, thank you. Be a long way. Midtown Express, yes, we will. The Midtown Express refers to the portion of the airport freeway widening project that will take place east of 157. For those that might not be aware, that's become part of a much larger project that will actually extend east clear to 35E. And it's actually part of a project that will also include portions of 114 and Loop 12 and Dallas or whatever. So our sliver that is going through the city of Euless is under design. He does as well. Wonderful. Mr. Barker? All right. Do you want to jump in, or do you want me to continue?
Mike, you were doing great. The Midtown Express, as Mike had already explained, there it's about 1.5 miles in Euless. That's the portion you can see there generally in blue. It's going to pick up at 157 and head eastward into Irving and then into Dallas. There will be a public meeting February the 24th from 4 to 7 p.m. at First Baptist Church Euless. That will most likely be at Campus West. That is being held by TxDOT and Southgate Constructors. Unfortunately, that is on the same night as a city council meeting, so many of us will be here at the city council meeting. There's an official groundbreaking on the project on March the 5th of this year. That project calls for a 36 to 42 month construction schedule. which would have substantial completion in the summer of 2018. Specific to the Euless section, the one thing I want to point out, because we hear a lot of rumors on this, the 3 lanes that are currently provided in each direction, those will remain at the end of the construction. They will in many cases be reworked, revamped, rehabilitated. There is no loss of free travel lanes from what you see today. There are what you will hear referred to as the interim construction plans and the ultimate construction plans. The interim plan will be constructed first, and it will provide 1 managed lane, i.e. toll lane, in each direction. So if you were to be traveling eastbound on the Midtown Express, currently you have to get off and you exit back down to the 3 lanes at basically FM 157. That would actually continue. You would have the option to continue on a toll lane through the length of the corridor. The ultimate configuration of this project would call for 2 managed or toll lanes in each direction. The natural question from that would be, well, if they build the interim now, when are they going to be building or constructing the ultimate? And that is an unknown at this time. It is a part of the CDA contract with the developer. At the end of the day, that is a business decision. When they feel like that the construction costs justify, or the revenue would justify the construction cost, they would build that ultimate configuration. They will, however, acquire right-of-way for the ultimate configuration with the interim project. And that is important because, particularly if you own a business or a home or any effect in this area, it's not, they will come in and acquire, the state would acquire right-of-way at one time, as opposed to acquiring some now and acquiring some at some date in the future.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir.
Last summer, the public pool by South Willis Elementary was shut down for maintenance issues. I was wondering if it's a fix or if it has any intention of being fixed.
Question is, the pool at the South Euless Park was shut down last year, and it's, I want to know if it's going to be reopened. Mr. McDonald? Anybody?
Well, the answer is we'll reopen it. We've known for a little while that the pool had a leak, and after our companies come out and detect the leak, we actually found 2 leaks. Both were under the shell of the pool, which would require complete demolition, and we wanted to rebuild exactly what we have there now. It was about $2 million. So the decision was made that it would not be.
We've been averaging, I think it was 15 on a daily basis, 15 people the last summer, so 15 people. Now, obviously on Saturday.
Well, you also have the new thing at the rec center open up, so a lot of people wanted to check out the new. But to have the neighborhood pool was, I mean, great for my kids. If you're not gonna fix it, what are you gonna do with it? You're not gonna just leave it sit there.
No, ma'am. In fact, we are right now getting quotes from companies to do the demo, and we intend that after it's done, it will be maintained as a park. We intend to grass it and add some type of a gazebo or small pavilion, something that will serve those who either just are in the park or will be using the splash pad. Absolutely.
John?
I just wanted to say an earlier comment on the apartment. If there are, well, okay, I'm going to say 2. If there are 2 things that I brag about, because I deal with a lot of the other people in other cities too, if there's 2 things that I brag about, one is the apartment inspection program, because I've been involved with these city council meetings long enough to remember code compliance reports of apartment complexes in Euless that had raw sewage bubbling up and staircases falling down. And I've even gotten the angry comments from Joyce, the old Euless Apartment Association manager. She's come to me and complained when this thing first started about how aggressive it was. But I was living in those apartments that she managed, and I asked her, I said, well, what are you complaining about? And then she rattled off things they were making her fix, and I thought to myself, good. So I think I credit that program with maintaining the high rent values that we have, especially over in Villages Bear Creek, which are how old now? 30 years old now, and they're still getting great rents and they look great. And I credit that apartment inspection program. So kudos to that. And the other second thing that I brag on all the time, quite frankly, is our city management. And we owe a lot of that to Gary McCaney, and I'm sad to see you go, Gary. I'm sad that this is your last meeting, but I'm very proud of the influence you've had on the city that I live in. So, thank you.
Y'all got me to tear up a little bit? Yes.
My name's Dottie Earl, and I had a question. We're talking about DFW Airport, and I don't know whether this is with Lewis, Colleyville, Grapevine, et cetera, but I've traveled a lot, and I have to say that DFW is the only airport that I have ever been to that you get charged to drop somebody off at the airport or to go pick them up. And is this something that Lewis gets some money from, or are some of the cities working together that we can do away with that? Because it used to be that the first half hour was free, and I don't know whether Lewis is involved in this at all, or if it's strictly something with the DFW airport operations. But since DFW airport is serviced by so many surrounding cities, that surely this is something that is not very, very nice. Like I said, New York airport, Honolulu, London, it's just crazy that DFW doesn't allow you just to drive and drop off people and pick them up.
Well, I'll answer that. DFW is a unique animal, and I mean that in a very kind way. It's actually been duplicated in other places in the world. DFW Airport is owned by the cities of Dallas and Fort Worth. They own it. There is a separate board of governance that was established by the legislature. It resides in the city of Euless, Irving, Grapevine, and Coppell. But that's all it does is reside there. The airport board manages and sets those rates, they basically have their own system of governance, including their own police department. So it's kind of like the school. That's comments on the school. We don't like to kick cans down the road, but any comments related to the parking fees or whatnot really needs to go to the DFW Airport Board and the executive director, the president, the CEO of DFW Airport, and to the city of Dallas Fort Worth. We have nothing to do with that whatsoever. It's a great attribute for our region. It is the number one job creator in our region, DFW Airport. But afterwards, they have a great police department.
Yes, ma'am.
He lives in our city.
Her question is the Midtown Express, and will it affect which Starbucks? Main Street or the north side or south side or both, either or. And I think, Mike, the answer is we really don't know.
Yeah, the short answer is we don't know yet.
But go up there and tell them they ought to give you free Starbucks until something happens, and maybe they'll. Tell them Bob said it. So
The public hearing that Mr. Barker mentioned earlier, that's the 24th of February, TxDOT at that time, or the contractor working with TxDOT, they'll have maps that will show where the proposed impact on individual properties will be.
What time is that at Express?
4 to 7.
4 to 7, I believe it was.
I know there's a couple more hands, but I've got another presentation. Let him do his presentation. and then we'll get back to you. So, Howard Trainer, Public Works.
My presentation will be short. Every time I do a drought presentation, it rains. The problem is, it's not raining enough. And I can tell people what we need is a minor hurricane, and I mean a minor one, to catch up. Our lakes are down right at 60%. I think 61%. Once it hits 60%, our city ordinance basically says we need to go to a stage 2. We're in stage 1 now, which basically restricts watering to twice a week. Once we go to stage 2, then it's watering once a week and some other restrictions that will come about. We're hoping, and we, TRA, and the people that control and provide our water, they're hoping that we'll get rain, and it will fill those lakes, and we won't have this problem. But as you know, and you've lived here longer than I, droughts in Texas seem to be a thing that are happening more and more often. So that's my little update. Appreciate those that are conservative, and we need to continue to do that, but because there's not going to be enough water to go around if we don't do that. But it's, so I don't know when we'll go, but that word will go out, and we will announce that and make sure everybody understands what the restrictions are if we go to stage 2 or when we go to stage 2. Any questions about stage 2? Yes, sir.
Now, obviously, like we did with stage 1, we push that information out and make sure we get everything. Can you further explain to me the issue with stage 2 when the community is so concerned about stage 2?
Some of the restrictions would be, other than the major one, which restricts your watering to once a week, things like your athletic field and your parks and those type of things that we are used to keeping green will have to look at. And actually, a plan will be developed. The parks where we play a field, for instance, will be watered as need be because it would be a safety issue. But the areas surrounding those play fields, they won't be watered as often. Those type things will be less. Fountains that are not anything but ornamental will have to be turned off. We'll be asking people and looking at our developers, if you've got grass that you need to put in, stage 2 is not the time to put in a new yard. And those are type things that we'll be asking people to really consider hard before they do so.
And then the last piece of that question, I'm sorry, Gary, is to explain what has occurred in this last stage 2.
Oh, that's a good point. Dropping into stage 2 when we hit 60 is pretty easy. Coming out of it is tough. We have to be at 70% for a 30 consecutive days. Let me make sure that I get this right. We have to be 75% conservation stage. If we hit it and we remain above 70 for 30 consecutive days, we can come out of stage 2. It has been a long time since we've been at 70 or 75% our lakes being full. So dropping in at 60 is one thing. Coming back out is when we hit 70 or 75 will be the key. Yes, sir.
Is there any thought as to all of the problems going on, especially with like Riverwalk and Lake Park, not going to get development, but in addition of all of that stuff, just increases the demand on the water supply, and we don't have enough of it already.
Yes, that's talked about from both sides, from the developer side, and once you stop development, and this is in my history, wherever I've been, it's very hard to get that started again, and you really don't want to do a stoppage unless you absolutely have to. Mike, you may want to address that.
One positive about the Riverwalk development, and that would be the area located north of Airport Freeway, west of 360, clear up to Mid-Cities, that entire area. That is the location where reclaimed water has already been installed. And all of the open spaces associated with any of the new development, except for your own private yard, will be watered as per the restrictions with the reclaimed water. The new commercial development, to the extent that there is landscaping, that will be on reclaimed water. The other areas that the new development that you would lift up like the Glade Parks, yes, it does. It's not on the reclaimed water, so they would be subject to those same restrictions. You know, the fact of the matter is, new residential development today with the lot sizes that are coming in today, with the lot coverage, the amount of house that's built on the amount of property, it's got less area to be landscaped and watered than homes perhaps that were built, 20, 30 years ago.
What about just the residents, just the number of, not even single-family homes, but like on the west side of Beverly, Berkeley, you have all those apartments and stuff that go in.
Good. And with that particular apartment area, they will also be able to utilize the reclaimed water on that area.
I'm talking about
Personal use, yeah. That's going to be a matter of education, personal use, and other efforts that you can engage yourself within your home.
Mr. Brown, if we don't build a place for them to live, they end up in car park at somewhere. It's certainly, it's not just an issue locally. Oh, no, it's the issue. Yeah, I mean, the state of Texas, all of us that have lived here long periods of time, remember when there weren't very many people, now there's many people, and that's probably a good thing.
I believe the number, if I remember this correctly, any water provider will tell you that about 60% or greater of the water that we provide goes on lawn. If you just stop and think about it, you own a house, you got a low flow toilet, you got most of our washing machines don't use anywhere near the water they used to use. Single family residents that are at the apartment, they use a lot of water. It goes on our yards. Walk at night down the street in the summer and see how much water runs down the street. We can control our water use totally by what we put on water. And I don't say we, I mean, as Texas.
It's also a proven fact that you don't need water when people overwater and wastewater. And that's why cutting back the 5 and 10% that Mr. Gamey mentioned is really not a difficult thing to do. We've got a long ways to go, but he's correct. 60% of our water that we use in the state of Texas is for irrigation.
We're in a drought, so pray, wash your car.
Yes.
Leave the top down on your convertible, or see Sherry Knight. She's our library administrator. She's trying to line up people to do rain dances. So any of those might help. But we need all we can get. Keith, just a minute, because this young man right there, his hand is tired.
Phil Farco, I own a business in a building, an international business park. Has there been consideration to start using a southwestern landscape like they do in Arizona, where you need very little, you will have to have any sprinkler systems, like cacti and whatever other water resistant plants are used, especially on these new developments, to mandate that?
Short answer, yes, sir. We recognize that the current landscaping ordinance in its strict interpretation wouldn't allow some of the things that you've done. The city council's already directed staff to begin an evaluation, and we've started that.
I would do that in my business tomorrow if you let me.
Excellent. In fact, in your neck of the woods with Ricochet Fuels, with Kelly Roberts, that landscaping that was adopted there is probably a good example. If you drive by the Parks building farther to the south, there on the west side of the road, those are examples of some xeriscape that could be a good model for us to follow.
And we're also looking at all of our drought tolerant plants. There are plants that use less water than others. We're trying to
We're going to be doing this 3D project out here in the not too distant future of our City Hall campus. And that is, they're going to be Ray McDonald and park staff, whoever else is going to sign it. We're going to try to be a good steward and a good example, and we're going to use some of our landscape areas to show what can be done, exactly what you're talking about, Bill. So that when a developer comes in, we can walk them out there and show them this is an example of what you can do to make it very attractive, but very low water. Not very good language, but very, won't use much water.
Keith, I think you end up next.
Could you tell us how many lakes in this area that we go to water from?
how many lakes that we get our water? You're not talking about specific to Euless, you had been water
How many lakes do they pull?
Actually, I've got something here. The water originates from Cedar Creek and Richland Chamber Lakes, and then it's put in the Lake Arlington, and that's where TRA gets their water.
Don, put your hand down, I'm tired of talking
On
to you.
that,
I got two ladies, hang on a second. Go ahead.
let's follow up to that. I was just asking the flavor change in my water. Could you comment on that real quick? Just on the-
Good or bad?
Oh, it got bad.
I couldn't figure out from the way you said it.
Well, I think Loretta's answer was correct.
Yeah.
What is happening is we have 3 wells, and we use those to supplement the water that we pay for from TRA. When during the winter months, they pump less, our wells fill in that gap of whatever you use. There's a certain area around each well that the water goes out from. When we get less and less water from TRA, that radius expands, that circle expands out. So people that may not have tasted that water much before will be tasting it now because the water at the circle of influence has expanded. So that's why you're getting, the water is there's nothing wrong with the water, it is a change of taste. Just like for those cities that do not have wells and we get that taste every summer when the water turns over, the lakes turn over. It's a similar type of experience. I know it tastes different, but again, our well water is cheaper than TRA water.
You've had your hand up for a long time, yes ma'am?
I'm very patient. I'm a teacher.
You are very patient, and I appreciate it.
I was just wondering, and I've asked this question one other time, but not publicly to a person of the city. Is there any money in the budget for future sidewalks in older developments? Like for instance, Wilshire on Yorkshire Drive? We don't have a sidewalk on either side of the street.
Okay, her question is there money in the budget to do sidewalks and specifically in older neighborhoods because she doesn't have a
Specifically
sidewalk?
on Yorkshire Drive.
We don't have money in the budget for sidewalks, but we have been focusing our efforts on making sure that all the sidewalks and the ADA, the programs that we have are ADA compliant. And if there are specific needs related to an ADA issue, then you might see a sidewalk installation. For the most part, we're spending those dollars to make sure that the current sidewalks that we have are maintained properly. There's not an immediate plan.
That's the same answer I got last time. Y'all are very consistent.
Well, the consistency, there's something to be said. All right, I told you we were going to try to end at 8:30, so I'm going to take one more question. And this lady had her hand up. Yes, ma'am.
Could we revisit the Riverwalk development, and do you have a plan that we can look at
I'm pretty sure Mr. Barker can pull up an aerial view of that area.
While they're doing that, on the sidewalks in the Yorkshire, there's an unintended consequence on those sidewalks that we built in neighborhoods. That is, you got people that are used to parking double in their driveway. When we put the sidewalk across there, it's illegal to park across the driveway. People hate them.
It would save on my water bill.
They cause problems.
The area that we refer to as the Riverwalk development is in the area that Mr. Barker's about to start pointing to. That when we refer to it, it's a couple of hundred acres. It was zoned for a mixed-use development. There'll be about 100 acres, 120 acres of commercial zone property as part of that. That doesn't include the parcels that are directly adjacent to 360 that will encompass another 80 acres of commercial zone property. But specific to the Riverwalk, a couple of 100-acre development, 100 or so acres of that is commercial. Another 80 acres of that will be residential. If you were to drive north on Bear Creek Parkway, on the right side or on the east side, you'll see about 300 units of an urban loft project that's currently under construction. And then when you look on the west side of the road and then go clear up to Mid-Cities, that's the Dominion subdivision that Lennar has under construction. It's about 216 lots. Lennar's actually got 3 other subdivisions within that general area. If you go north from the urban lofts that I was describing to the hard corner there on the south side of Mid-Cities, that's another 60-lot subdivision that will be constructed. It's going to be a 0 lot line, single-family detached product. And then if you go farther to the north, up Bear Creek on the south side of Harwood Road, that's going to be another subdivision that's going to be called the Estates that Lennar has under construction. That's going to be a gated private street subdivision that will be another, I think, 60 or 70 lots that should be the highest end residential product that Lennar will be building in that area. So if we go back to the hard corner of 360 and 183, what is called the northwest corner, that's 100 acres, not including the other commercial property right on 360. So there's another 140, 160 acres of commercial zoned property that the developers have not yet submitted any detailed proposals for that development.
All this area will be covered with our reclaimed water as well as the compost. So they'll be able to irrigate with the reclaimed water.
Okay, when I said that was the last question, that doesn't mean that we're going to leave. So we'll still be around here and answer any questions you got until we either kick you out or wear it down, whichever one that is. But let me let the panel on this side have any last words. And first thing, Councilmember Jeremy Thompson, would you?
No, I appreciate you guys coming out tonight. This is refreshing to see everyone's faces, both that we're common with and those that are new to us. So I appreciate you guys taking time out of your schedule tonight to spend it with me on my birthday. We try so hard to communicate our different activities through the rec center, through the parks department, through City Hall, and it's effective. It's working. Tell a neighbor, bring your friend, and let's have a good time in the city. Thank you guys.
How many have never been to a town hall here in Euless? Raise your hand if you don't mind.
This is awesome.
Okay, great. And so, and then my next follow-up question to that is, how did you find out about tonight? He told you. You saw the sign. Somebody told you. Water bill.
Social media.
Okay. Okay. Great. We appreciate it. Great. Well, we appreciate it. Appreciate it. Mr. Price.
This is my first time to be up here during the town hall meeting, and so I just want to say just privileged to be a public servant here for you, our citizens, and thank you for being here.
Mr. Zimmer.
Second both of those. Thank you, Mr. President.
Mr. Bynum.
Well, I'm gonna stand up because there's a guy that's right here. We're going there, okay? We're gonna go there. Okay, I'm gonna make two quick comments. This guy has guided us for a long time, and make sure you do know that he is retiring. He's been an awesome asset for all of us. I played basketball in this building when it first opened. I was a kid. I've lived in the city all my life. One of my mentors in my life is right here. I appreciate every one of you. And we don't always get it right up here. We don't. We have great staff, but we're all volunteers. We're just like y'all. So I just want to make sure you understand that you're heard. And once again, we may not get it right, but we hear you. And if y'all come here and let us know, you don't communicate with us, how can we help fix it? It may not be broke, you may not understand some of those issues, but we hear you. And this guy right here rocks.
Mayor Pro Tem.
Well, I want to thank all of you for coming this evening. I want to also recognize that we have our former mayor, Mayor Lou Salas. She will always be mayor to me. She is with us tonight. Who is Leon many years, different committees, as well as being on city council. So thank you, Leon and Jen, for being here this evening. As everyone said, really, our ears are to the ground. We are accessible by email, by telephone. Please contact us. We have a very open city staff as well. We're delighted that all of you are here, that we have such a great turnout. But please don't make this an every 6 month until you wait to have an issue. Please contact us, call us, pick up the phone. We have this wonderful product called Access ULIS, which you can use. So if you see something, you can snap a picture of it. You can call the front desk of City Hall and say, I just saw this, and they can enter it. But please always correspond with us. Let us know what we can do to better serve you. Thanks for being here tonight.
You stole my thunder, Mayor. I had you and Leon down on my page for good recognition. And so apparently I didn't communicate well with her that was supposed to be on me, but the mayor fired me this time last year. I kiddingly told the city manager I thought I'd do this in my boxer shorts this year, and he leaned over and told her that, and she fired me. I mean, just right then said that was the last one, so I'm back. Is this beneficial to you?
Yes.
All right, so I told you 23 years. We'll do another one in the summertime. It's a little bit different format, but again, and as Mayor Pro Tem said, don't wait 6 months. If you got a concern, you got an issue, call one of us. And if there's nothing else, we're here. We'll answer questions. Any of the people in the back in uniform or whatnot, we've got somebody representing every department here. We will get an answer for you or try to help you out. No, you're done. No, go ahead.
I just got a call and something about something that's right. Honoring somebody that's leaving the city.
You?
First Baptist Church.
Is it you?
3 to 5. I don't know. You can't cross. It's not here now.
I think they mentioned that.
I know they're going to. I know you're going to say something good, but we know what a good job he's done, and we appreciate it.
Mr. McKay, would you like to say anything? You're the one you talked about. Speech.